You know, I really like Splatoon. It's a fun little shooting game, and it's really great that it's constantly getting new content for the online and updates. But what I really want Splatoon to do is add more story. I love the world of Splatoon, and I want to know more about humanity, how humanity went extinct, how the Octolings and Inklings became what they are. So naturally, when Nintendo announced a story expansion for Splatoon 2, I got my hopes up. Now, did I actually get what I wanted in this story expansion? Well, let's find out. Here is my review for Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion. Octo Expansion takes place in a subway system buried deep underneath the city of Egopolis. You play as an Octoling who wakes up in this subway with no memories, and are almost immediately dubbed as Agent 8. Turns out that you've been fighting with the protagonist of the first Splatoon game when you were both attacked and fell into the subway system. Assisted by the enemy's captain as well as Pearl and Marina, you go through the trials of this subway system experiment in order to win your freedom and return to the surface. Now, story was definitely the biggest thing I was looking forward to in this expansion, and I liked it, but I was a little underwhelmed by how they did it. Most of the story that's given to you is given to you in chat logs as you clear stages. These chat logs offer insight to a lot of character backgrounds, but you don't really get very much information on you. You get character histories for Pearl and Marina, but we don't learn very much about Agent 8 across the entire expansion. Now, the ending sequences of Octo Expansion are a different story. It's done incredibly well, and it adds a bunch of information about the lore of Splatoon's world. But as great as it is, you still don't get very much information on Agent 8. It just feels like they set up this plot point of Agent 8 being void of memories and didn't really do much with it. As far as gameplay goes, nothing about the shooting elements of Splatoon 2 have changed here. Imagine Octo Expansion like the story mode, except a lot bigger and a lot harder. As you navigate the subway, you have a lot of different stages that you can dive into on a map that opens up further the more stages you clear. These stages are similar to the story mode stages, but with a little more variety in terms of objectives. You've got some combat-oriented stages where you're fighting off enemies, but you've also got some escort missions, puzzle-solving missions, and platforming missions. There's a lot of different stuff that you can do, so none of the stages really feel super similar to the other ones. The idea here is that you are clearing stages to open up the map in order to find 4 key items that are the key to earning your freedom. But clearing these stages is easier said than done. Octo Expansion I refer to as a challenge mode, because almost every single stage that you play through is very, very difficult. There's a lot of intricate platforming, there are a lot of very tricky shooting segments. It's very similar to some of the harder Nintendo platformers, except it's Splatoon. This also ties into the point system that you have to use in this DLC expansion. Per the story of you proving yourself, you earn points by clearing stages, but you have to pay points to attempt stages. This makes things difficult because if you lose all of your lives, you have to repay the fee to do it again, and again, and again. This can easily lead to a lot of frustration for inexperienced players, but thankfully there are ways around that if a particular stage is giving you loads and loads of problems. Once you fail a mission twice, you get the option of having the game basically clear it for you. This will affect the kinds of rewards you get when you clear the stage, but it will help you along the main task of finding those key items and seeing the story side of this campaign. Now, given that there are 80 stages for you to clear, and almost every stage has different weapons and rewards for you to get, you're probably going to be spending quite a bit of time going through this campaign. I didn't clear all 80 stages, nowhere near all 80 stages, and by the time I reached the end credits for this, I logged a little over 8 hours. So I'd say you should expect to spend at least that long over the course of this DLC campaign. More if you really get into it and want to clear all the stages. Now, before we close this part out, do note that there are unlockables for online play. First of all, you can play as an Octoling as well as an Inkling, and by getting collectibles in this campaign, you unlock exclusive pieces of gear for you to equip. Now, in conclusion, Splatoon 2 Octo expansion gives a little something for many kinds of Splatoon players. You got challenging stages for mastering weapons and platforming, you got lore expansion for story enthusiasts, and you got new character customization and gear for online play. Granted, a lot of the story mode was a bit underwhelming until the very end, but if you enjoy Splatoon 2, this is a great expansion to get and play through. Reviews to Go rates Splatoon 2 Octo expansion for the Nintendo Switch a 9 out of 10. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below or head to the website at www.reviewstogo.com.